Good stream.
All right, welcome back to our food taxonomy game show. I'm your host, Andrew, and my four contestants, Daniel, Kira, Ash, and Luke.
I would like to posit that if this is a game show, it's like one of those British game shows where there's the smarmy person who has all the
I
facts.
get to be Noel Fielding, man.
And that's me, and then Andrew's the host. Like,
Yeah,
I'm the
I'm the-
Jeremy, who, like, Andrew's like, and the answers, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna be smarter than everyone. Like,
I'm the
Like
charming
that.
Oh,
one.
now you're
and
saying it's like
the
the big fat quiz show, which is just comedians answering wrong in very funny ways.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's more like quite interesting.
Yeah, okay.
Whose line is it anyway?
yeah, only Andrew and I are both playing Stephen Fry.
We couldn't no one person could live up to the legacy of Stephen Fry. So maybe two people.
Sandy Talkspeak does a pretty damn good job.
Fair.
Who?
Okay. Moving on to the game that we are actually playing.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
forgave-
because I think the
forgave-
question
Alright,
was,
here's that article in Discord.
is a hot dog a slice or is it dysphoric?
It's not a slice. I'm sorry. I will fight you.
Dysphoria
It's a
dogs.
dysphoric.
That's what I'm
It's a
here for.
dysphoric sandwich.
It is. Fuck that sandwich.
Hot dogs are trans sandwiches.
That's the latest trans discourse, everyone.
Yep, we've done it. Excellent, good job, team.
There we go.
Into my sandwich.
Ashley
Oh, yeah.
Nova, if you are watching this, there is an idea for an episode of the Trans Agenda. There you go. I know you've been struggling.
Brand is called
Andrew,
the
where were
carrier
we
in
in
the
the
sandwich.
story? What was happening in the
Um,
actual?
Luke
I
was
forgave-
trying to
I
tell
forgave
me
some
he
people
was
like a
wrong.
jerk.
Yeah. Basically, Hart did an ugly truth test,
Yeah, basically.
so that he just like laid everything out.
No, it was still too obscure to be laying everything out, I think.
I think people have picked up on it,
Audience gets it.
and there's a turn in the conversation. I think the music stops, and like Tiff's body language changes. Like her drink disappears from her hand. And now it's like
No.
now it's a sitting on an urban rooftop looking at the sky kind of scene.
Yes.
Instead, it's like
Yes.
taking on a more contemplative vibe, but transitions like effortlessly from one to the other.
Probably the same rooftop.
Yeah, exactly, right? Same rooftop, just different context.
Cool.
And we're all like barefoot and like kicking our feet a little bit like kids.
Yeah, like
Yes.
maybe sitting on the edge, or maybe like someone standing nearby. But I think just to keep it all super gut wrenching for Case, this is like effectively it's like the night you broke up. You were on a rooftop or something, if that's okay with you.
No. Yeah, that's fine.
This is the like, coming to terms with reality moment.
So what did Hurt say in the How Does Tiff React? Because you're saying Hurt says it to Tiff, not to Case, right?
Yeah, can you remind me of what you were saying? It was something about like people aren't.
Yeah, like both of you were on that like incredibly like irritating indie kick about like, oh, like the first album is always the best, blah blah blah.
Music,
And, like,
music.
Yeah, music, and like a very specific model of like bands have to stay the same as they were originally, and like they never recapture their glory days. And Hot is just like I don't know that that's true. Like, there's always hope for producing new content in the future, and often what we make later with the benefit of more experience and more diverse input is better. I'm like, yeah, the metaphor is not subtle, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And so I think
Cool.
Tiff, like her shoulders drop, her like expression changes, the drink disappears, that whole scene transition happens. And she just says, well, what am I making lately? And like, like looks around at the city.
Case
I think that's up
size.
to you.
It is up to you. It's definitely not up to me. I mean, I'm here. Obviously, I care about you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. but what are you up to recently?
And I think this is the point at which like Heart just like fades out of the like there's no
You're like,
moment
my
which
work
we
here
can
is done.
leave. It's just that like as we get like camera angles between the two of them at one point like it gets more and more intimate, and then the next time we get a long shot like Heart's just like not there anymore. There's just these two like footprints on the like roof where they were standing with their bare feet, where like the concrete is like cracked and like decaying, and like all of this like ivy is like springing up out of it and like starting to like crack through.
Right, and so
My work
the conversation
is done.
The conversation is just Tiff and Case at this point.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, and so she picks it up again. I mean, it's really hard for me to get anything done. I'm always stressed out at home. There's not really anywhere to go. And she like makes eye contact with Case. No one to talk to, you know?
Shit, I'm sorry. I mean, I really fucked things up. I should have just talked to you more. And I feel really bad about that.
And I think she goes back to like leaning over this rail or whatever and looking down into the street below. And she just says, no, I mean, I didn't reach out to you. At least not. It wasn't helpful. And we see like a tear fall down into the street below.
And as it falls, it like unfurls into like a flutter of like the blossoms just to bring the motif back, right?
Yeah,
like,
keep those metaphors going. Yeah, and she just like reaches out a hand to you. She just wants to like hold your hand.
Case takes it, is like pauses for a second and is like, should I do this? But it does.
Yeah, there's like it's a little
and
tenuous.
it's like, yeah, it's a little tenuous. And looks directly into her eyes and says, you know, no matter what is going on with our relationship, if we're dating or arguing or whatever, you can always talk to me. I'm here. If you need to get out of your house, you can come to my shitty apartment.
Yeah, and she like laughs at that. Well, that's a very generous offer, she says, like standing up and kind of brushing her, like some dust off her shorts or whatever. Maybe I'll go to your shitty apartment sometime instead of my shitty apartment.
Cool. I mean, you should. It's cool there. I listen to records sometimes with Char.
And she tilts her head and is like, who? Who's Char?
Char? You know Char. She's like, I don't know. She goes to our school.
And she's like...
I don't know what backstory to share, actually.
Yeah, it's like super awkward if you're like, oh, you know, she used to like be in this weird cult and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, presumably Char transferred to the school like just recently or this year or whatever.
Yeah, because you're like a newish person. And at the very least, like Dream Tiff doesn't clue into who Char is. And she's like,
Yeah.
well, cool, yeah, you have friends there or whatever, that's fine. Do you want to go there now? I just need to grab something from my place.
Okay. How about I go with you?
That'd be nice. And then, like, you two are walking down the street, like, around the corner to the house again, like, immediately.
Yeah.
Dreams cut away all the other shit. But let's bounce
Yeah.
into the house for a moment, and then we'll kind of get everyone gathering up there. So, Char and Caesar, you're
Speaking of
upstairs
the house,
in the
I'm
house.
curious, did my interceding with Caesar tick the house notices jar clock forward, maybe? Or
Yeah,
is it...
I was thinking the same thing, Daniel. Yeah, absolutely.
I know this clock's super cool in Roll20.
Yeah, I got the cool clock mod. There are some other ones that are more bladesy, but these ones are really good for my game. And so yeah, the two of you are standing there, and there's like, I think one of the like, kind of ethereally figures, like
Well,
walks into the room.
Okay.
Because the door is still like open from when Char burst in and like helped Caesar out. And this figure like passes through the two of you, and it starts like freaking out about the walls. They're like running their hands along the walls and like picking up the mirror, and like they try to like tidy up the place, and then like another figure comes in and starts helping, and they're like smoothing the wallpaper back over the like slats or whatever, the boards of the house.
I think probably when this happens, I'm just like grabbing Caesar's hand and trying to like, let's leave. This is our cue to get out of here. I don't say
Caesar totally like accepts your hand and like lets you like lead him out of the house in like a semi-run thing, and like Caesar's totally doing this thing of like letting it be very like dramatic and cinematic, of like you leading him out of the house away from the danger.
And so yeah, the two of you run down the stairs, and the stairs are like a little bit longer than they were on the way up. There's like an extra turn to them, but you come out onto the main floor. The hallway is a little bit longer, but still you're able to get to the end.
I don't think, by the way, I'm not running. I'm trying to act normal still.
You're like moving out at a reasonable pace or whatever. But I think the way it's shot indicates a bit of hurry, even though you're not moving super quick or something. You know,
there's lots of like looking back over my shoulder
and yeah, like more of the figures are like moving up to that room to try to like fix it up, essentially. Like the whole house is kind of coming to life. Sorry, Ash, I talked over you.
I was just saying, Out of the Woods by Taylor Swift plays off 1989.
Anyways,
I'm gonna be providing shitty soundtracks like the whole way. I'm sorry.
Great. So you're down in the main level of the house, and maybe like the door is open, and out in front you can see Case and Tiff, and I don't know if Hart is like here or somewhere else or whatever. Luke, that's up to you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can see them down in the street, and they're coming up the walkway of the house, holding hands.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I'm like, turn to Char, and I'm like, the house is here to trap Tiff. It's like a kind of a mind trap. Like you isolate people in a physical space, and then they can't get out, and then they start to just become like their physical space. It's we need to make sure that Tiff doesn't. We need to make sure that we get Tiff out of here, like actually out of here.
I think I was gonna say, maybe as you're saying that, or just before you say that, as soon as I see them coming, I find somewhere for us to hide, like behind a cupboard or something, and then maybe you tell me that. Yeah, as we're watching
Behind the couch.
Sure. And I'm like, okay, but I don't think we can just tackle her, right?
I mean,
You should decide to leave.
I guess so. Isn't that how an intervention works?
I think Charles, like, only as a last resort.
All right, you know more about these things. I'll take your lead.
And so, Case and Tiff, or like you get to the like threshold, like right before the first step up to the door, and Tiff stops, and you can like feel that her hand is a little sweaty in your hand, and like she's obviously very tense and very uncomfortable with going into this house. And so she hesitates here, and just clams up, I guess.
What's wrong?
And she
Case will just ask and maybe like roll a thing.
Yeah, if you want to get her to actually
Talk about her feelings.
barf her feelings out, that's definitely a thing.
Because it's a dream.
I mean, only if it'll be useful, I guess. I don't want to harass her with emotional labor.
No. But this is like, it's clear that she needs to, deal with this situation in some way, and so you can like help her with that.
Okay. Try to empathize.
Yeah. I think if you want to like really understand what's going on with her, then empathize is a good one to like feel what she's feeling.
Yeah.
And do you have any goal beyond that necessarily, or are you just?
Yeah, I mean, I do want to know what's going on with her in the house.
So this could be like a gather info thing for sure. You could ask me some questions based on it. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So should I roll first or?
Yeah, so roll empathize.
How does that work?
Your position can be. I think we've been doing good rolls with her. So yeah, we'll put it at controlled. For now, and your effect can be standard.
Standard.
And so yeah, based on your result, you can ask me some questions from your list.
Cool. I got a 4.
Okay, yeah. So you can ask me. You can ask me 2 questions.
Where's the list again? I'm sorry, I suck.
It might just be in the PDF for you.
Oh shoot.
But I can pull it up for you real quick. Just give me a moment.
Someone quickly tell me.
What are we looking for?
Okay.
For the Enigma.
I'm sorry. I actually did not make the connection that that's where people were looking.
Oh no, it's all good. So for the Enigma, your questions are, what does X intend to do? Who here is keeping secrets? Where can I find X? And I'll paste it in Roll20 for you. Where's the vulnerability here? Where can I stay hidden? And what does X really want? Are your questions, but I'll post them in the Roll20 chat there.
Oh yeah. Okay. So where's the vulnerability here?
I mean, I think in terms of like this interaction between her and this house and what it stands to represent, there are lots of ways in which she is vulnerable to it, and that's why it has kind of preyed on her. Like, there's nowhere, like in the real world, there's nowhere else for her to go. She feels kind of like isolated and entrapped within this circumstance. But in the like dream space, the vulnerability, I think the house is vulnerable to her making it her own. Like if she asserts her identity into it, like because she's in control, this is in her head, she can change it. If she's able to like make it hers, that the house like loses power over her.
Makes sense. Cool. And what does the house really want?
Ooh, that's a good one. So yeah, you like look up and the door of the house just does that thing where it like creaks open just a little further, like the door is just slightly in motion. And looking down the hallway, you actually briefly get a bit of vertigo, as if you were looking into a really deep like hole in the ground or something. There's that sense of like tipping and falling into it. The house just wants to like eat people. It just wants to like take people in and not let them go and hold them, and just like it's also like really stiflingly warm. Like you can feel the air coming out of the door is like way too hot and muggy.
That's fine.
And yeah, it has this like sinister, like farmyard incubator kind of feeling to it. It's weird, creepy. It's way too hot and way too stifling. And yeah,
Gross.
If this was Apocalypse World, it would be a prison.
Gross. Okay, cool. So, I ask her what's wrong, I guess, and
yeah, and so she does reply. There's like this moment where you like take all that information in, and then you're like, "What's wrong?" And she just says, "Well, it's just really awkward if my roommates are home."
Why? I mean, fuck them.
And she kind of like nods, like maybe she's coming around to your way of looking at things. She's kind of like, yeah, I mean, like normally I would say yes, but I'm so worried, like if I screw this place up, I have to go through all that searching again.
Right. Okay. That's fair. That's true. But this is a dream, right, Tiff?
The Gambit. Whoa. Okay.
Wow.
Did I just do something I wasn't supposed to in the narrative?
Confess.
Like never call attention to the dream.
Shit.
Yeah, you're like, this is a dream, right? And she kind of like looks like down at her own feet and blinks. I mean, the house though, and she like looks up at the house as if like the house is still real here, maybe. Like it's, and I think she'll say that, yeah, she's like, the house still feels real. And she like reaches out and touches the like handrail of the stairs.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense because it means something to you.
Okay, well let's just go in there and get my coat, and then we can go to your place.
All right, cool. Let's go do it.
And she like takes a hesitant step onto the stairs.
When do we stage the intervention?
I guess we could just like run and tackle her.
I'm just gonna tick this clock up one more when she enters the house.
Oh.
Just because that feels appropriate.
We're not doing anything.
I mean, the intervention would actually be a different type of.
And so yeah, like we see Case and Tiff walking down the hall. Do y'all do anything?
I do a thing, but I do it outside.
Okay, what are you doing outside? And we'll let Daniel and Ash think about what they might do.
So in my imagining of this house, Andrew, because we said the words Victorian, like it's kind of Victorian, a bit Gothic. It has a front yard, like a little garden.
Yeah, it's very small. There's like a little.
Yeah, and I think this is the point where we realize that like standing behind, like in the shadow of like one of the trees or something, is like Hart is just like there. And something about like the color of his clothes and like the general like bedraggledness of them, he just like fitted into that picture.
Just kind of blended in, yeah.
Yeah, and so he like steps away from the tree, like onto the footpath, and like stoops down and picks up like one of the like a handful of the petals that Tiff leaves behind everywhere, and just like kind of like hums like thoughtfully to himself, and then like crushes them between his hands to release the fragrance, and just like
and so your hands are all bloody now.
Yeah, my hands are all bloody, but like the blood is sprouting into tiny little like red like flowers, and just like breathes in like the smell of these plants, and just like he just like thinks about Tiff and like everything we have learned about Tiff and her like interior experience, and like thinks about like his own experience of like housing like instability before like Boone took him in.
Right, because this is a place where you have a lot of empathy, I
Right,
guess.
like I've been here, right? Like I've been in Tiff's shoes. Like I've been in that desperate like house hunting place. And like thinks about that and thinks about like some very, very old memories of like wanting to like please his father but like never being able to. And just like tries to like put himself in Tiff's shoes. And like, yeah, like smell these petals and touch these petals and like feel her feelings.
Cool.
Yep.
To what end are you doing this?
I am trying to gather information. I
Okay,
want to.
You have some questions.
Because like
sure.
yeah, I feel like, and like I've kind of already foreshadowed this earlier. Like we've cleared away a bunch of the baggage. Like Tiff is like lucid, quote unquote, within the dream. Like isn't caught up in her old bullshit with Case, and like Hart is trying to like use this moment of like Tiff being like relatively lucid to try and like figure out what her like actual deal is.
Great.
Emotionally.
You can go ahead and do that. I think inside things are about to happen, but yeah.
Cool. Yep. So I think this is empathize.
Cool.
I am gathering information about someone's emotions.
Because you are outside the house, you can be in a controlled position, and you can have standard effect.
Awesome. And I've got one bonus dice because I'm heartfelt all the time.
Yep. So the door closes.
Dang it! Yep. Yep.
And you know, like you're welcome to resist that, but you just get like shut out of the scene. Yeah. Basically.
I am on 8 stress, Andrew. I'm not in a position to resist anything right now.
So yeah, you're trying to have a moment outside, and just like we see the camera is like just over your shoulder, and then the door just like slams shut on its own.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, inside, Caesar, are you staging an intervention? Are you tackling people? What's the plan here?
I think I'm going to like rush out and be like.
For the record, Char was like, "We should just wait." That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Maybe Caesar can't do that.
All right. Then I'm going to do that because I trust you.
Okay.
It's nice.
So, yeah,
Char got that date after all.
Yeah, it's great. We were holding hands earlier. That was really special.
It is not lost on me that the two of you are like hiding behind a couch together and are probably like really close.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that's happening.
It's not lost on me, don't worry.
Cute lipstick. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Char feels
No,
about
not that
bit. Not that
Char,
bit.
I think Char is actually at the moment distracted from that by the fact that
people there's like real stuff going on.
About to be in danger. But yeah, Char's just like waiting to see if Case has this under control or not, basically.
So,
yeah, and Caesar is waiting if he needs to like attack shadow figures with his sword.
So yeah, Tiff is like, my room's upstairs, and she walks down the hallway.
That's bad.
Expecting Case to follow.
Cool.
Just let me know if like when you want to do something different. Yeah, so she goes up the
I
stairs.
I think Case, as you're walking, you're following. You see, like, Char's head just pops up from behind the couch, like it's almost funny, and it's just like, not upstairs, like no, because that's where all the people are right now facing the room, right? Like, so
Caesar pops his head up as well, but he's got like all of his like lipstick is smeared, not but like because he was trying to rub it off, but it looks like he's been making out.
Cool. So I guess like I guess Case is like halts Tiff by like kind of dragging them backwards for a second and is like, hey, actually I wanted to show you something really quick in the living room. Could we do that first?
And yeah, she's like down at the end of the hall, framed in the like dark stairwell, like ominously, and she's like, oh, okay, and like turns around and doesn't go up it and comes back.
Okay.
It was just like she was like almost out of sight, which maybe would have been bad. And then yeah, so she comes back, and she's like, "What? What do you want to show me?"
So we duck back. I duck back behind the couch and like.
I'm gonna like do like a sign language for like what was she getting, like, because like obviously like Case is facing me and Case is facing us, and like there's now Tiff between us facing Case, so like over your shoulder you see like Caesar being like, what are you doing here, like what do you need, we'll go get it or something for you.
Well, maybe you can get your bag of things in a second, because I was just surprised how many good records are here. Look at this collection. I don't know if there's a record collection.
Yeah, and it like kind of appears as you describe it. There's this weird like suggestion that happens.
Cool.
So assuming this distraction is working, I guess me and or Caesar are gonna go.
I feel like this is a two-step thing. Yeah. Of like.
Yeah. Let's see if the distraction works.
Do a good distraction, and then that will set y'all up to do the other thing.
Yeah, is this a setup action? I was about to ask.
I think this is a setup action. So yeah, how is Case distracting Tiff?
I like walk backwards so that her back is facing them, right? And like kind of go through and imagine all of the records of like everything that we ever used to listen to, and like all the shows that we had been to together, in particular like records that don't exist in the real world. Just kind of like really beautiful, and they're all like, if I can make them look whatever I want, they're like all hot pink as well.
Right, they're all like in her colors.
Yeah.
So you're like inserting things into her dream.
Yes. Do I have to roll for that?
Definitely. Yeah. What action do you think this is?
Thing. Like I wasn't sure. I guess this is a conceal.
Yeah, because again, this is actually just about you being duplicitous.
Yeah, I'm tricky. Tricky.
Great. So yeah, when you hide your true intentions and feelings. Yeah. Cool.
Is risky.
In the house, your position is desperate unless you're transcended. Because the house is actively like fighting you in this thing, and
okay.
It's a dangerous thing. I'll give you standard effect though, because really all the danger comes from the house itself, but you're working on distracting Tiff first and foremost. So it's just that like if things go badly, it goes really badly, but if you pull it off, it's fine because you're just making your friend look at something. Okay, so consequences include the house notices chart clock.
I didn't add a +1 though, because I was setting.
Oh, right,
sorry.
because you're better at setting people up, right, Kira?
Roll an extra d6.
Yeah, just into the chat box, you can just type /r 1d6 and we'll get another die. Or if you want to just re-roll the whole thing through the macro, it's up to you.
That's okay.
Whichever method you prefer.
Oops.
Five.
Okay.
So how does that, is that a total of 7?
No, so your result.
That's 5 is the pretend result.
Yeah, we take the best die, so your result's a 5.
Oh.
So some things go wrong still, but you do get your intended effect. So you manage to set them up, you distract Tiff. But I think, one of the consequences I'll push is the house notices jar thing will fill. So that's one of them. And the other consequence...
I think the records are wrong.
Yeah, I think has to do with that. There's like the house fucks with your distraction a little bit and like taints it.
Evil
I think
house.
Yeah, you were trying to make everything be like rooted in her and like in her color palette and connected to her kind of ideas. And there's
all of the pink is red.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a catalog now instead of like crimson records, and it's starting to
Yes.
like not only affect her present but like bleed into her past.
No.
And does one of the covers have like it's still an album cover, but the same like basic visual iconography from the cover of the weird book, the like self-help cult book that we saw earlier?
I mean, I think there's some of that imagery because that's a good thing
There's
to
a meme
reincorporate.
record.
But there are different records. There's like a lot of like choral music.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's like she took a weird gothic choral music phase suddenly, right? Like there's all these different records, and you like turn to look at them, and they look like you had looked at them, you looked back at her, and then when you look back at the records again, they're all crimson now. Like the color suddenly changes on you when you look away. And I think what this means for her, I'm gonna get a little bit like long form with this, but I think that she will view the house that she's in this weird living situation will start to swing into a positive light for her. Like she's gonna like drink the Kool-Aid a little bit with this one and like buy into the cult stuff a little bit by merit of this, because you're using the house itself as part of your distraction. So I think that must include some.
So does that manifest like she tried to put one of the records on the Crimson record?
Yeah, exactly. She like puts one of them on this like
Fortuna.
gramophone. And yeah, it's some piece of like very soprano-y choral music with like with a single singer for most of it. Both of these consequences can be resisted, so that the house notices char clock can fill, or not if you want to resist. The records can all be tainted or not.
So what does the house noticing me consequence look like?
All of those
tell?
figures.
Yeah, I think I want to resist that.
Yeah, it's
for Char by I want to be the one that like before Char gets the opportunity to move, I want to resist that by like sneaking up the stairs quickly, so that like Char is still just stuck behind the couch.
Yeah, it's basically going to change what the difficulty is in the upstairs when you're trying to like follow through on this setup action.
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot more combative. There's going to be like
active.
Those figures are going to be actively opposing you. It's going to change the tenor of things.
All right. Well, I like the idea that Caesar basically resists that by jumping the gun on and trying to be sneaky when the house already doesn't notice Caesar, presumably. Like, so they're kind of distracting the house.
Yeah,
okay. It's this thing of like I'm trying to be the like knight in shining armor again.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my job.
So Ash, you can go ahead and roll to resist that. I think it is.
Yeah, I know. That's the point. Is
yeah.
I think it's fear.
So Sundari.
Of social pressure.
Yeah, maybe it's actually like the panic angle because it's about getting noticed and about like. Yeah, I think actually we'll say it's Kudere.
Okay. You're welcome, Ash.
And
thanks,
so yeah, you can resist the house noticing Char by way of that, and then Kira, if you want to roll to resist the whole thing with the records, you are welcome to. All right, Ash. So you take 5 stress.
Great job with that.
Are you an edgelord now?
I'm an edgelord now. I was really angling for that Tsundere, but like.
Do I also roll?
Lord Caesar, Edgelord Caesar.
Yeah.
I think for your role, Kira, it's going to be Moe. Because this is.
Wait, you have 0 in Kudere?
This is like a despairing moment.
No, I have 2 in Tsundere. I don't have any in Kudere.
Oh, I see.
This is not actually cold.
Aren't you good at analyzing? I'm confused.
Nope, I'm not good at analyzing.
Okay, you just do it a lot.
All right.
You guys are great.
Oh my god.
Both rolled a 1, so you're each going to take 5 stress.
This plan is really worth it.
What's the limit?
The
9.
The limit is 9.
That puts me at 9.
Okay, so when you reach or exceed 9 stress, then you need to roll for Eclipse, which the way that works is you roll your lowest resistance, which might mean you roll Kudare again. But anyways, you roll your lowest resistance. On a result of 1 to 3, you're in Eclipse. On a 4 or 5, someone else can push themselves so they can take 2 stress to keep you from being in Eclipse. On a 6, you're fine. Okay, so you both...
That's okay. If you roll...
Andrew, question.
Yes.
Because I do not have the rules handy on me to like check this and have gotten in the right order.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is not linked to an action, can spending links to help people interrupt? Like, can spending links to reduce people's stress kick in the middle of this and be like a circuit breaker? Go up to 9, link gets spent, bypass Eclipse, or does it have to be spent?
Oh yeah, because I have links for case too.
Is it terrible if I'm in Eclipse?
It's just dramatic.
I mean,
we're gonna be trash
it's not
people
just
for a bit.
dramatic. It
Yeah,
it means
we're
you can be
gonna
trash
play
people, and it also puts permanent character death on the table.
Yeah.
So
That's
like,
fine.
It's okay. We're obviously aborting this mission as soon as I notice what's going on. Like, we don't need to get Tiff's bag. We need to out.
So, let me just double check my rules here. So, for social links, you can spend 1 link to recover 2 stress. This can affect you or the linked character at your option.
Cool.
So, there's room for you to have reduced people's stress in advance of this happening.
but I can't bypass the.
Yeah, I assume you have to kind of take an action that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally.
So I think maybe I could, if I could think of some reason for that, Char would just like leap out and be like, "No, it's cool, Case. Everything's fine." But I can't think of a way that makes sense. I think Case is going to go into Eclipse here.
Not all of this has
Yeah,
to be
no,
super
I'm-
direct, too. It can be the, like...
Okay, well,
this can be about,
my
like, your
presence could
friendship
be-
and your presence, you being there lends them some, the strength to endure these...
well, so going to Eclipse is like Darkest Self type thing, right? Like
Yes.
it's a manifestation. It's like transcending as well, right? Like is your avatar's bad self, or
It's both. So,
Okay.
yeah, like, even when you're not transcended, you can still be in Eclipse. It colors both states. While you're in Eclipse, you're expected to, like, play into the prompt. There's a way for getting out of it listed as the second clause of the Eclipse description.
Okay, well, Kira, I would leave it maybe up to you if you think just Char being there would help avoid, or if you as a player would like to avoid. I'll just leave it up to you. I'm happy to spend a social link to kind of be a calming presence.
Oh, sure. I mean, to be honest, either one is fine. Like, I don't feel very strong. I feel like it's fun to do dramatic things, but I don't know how appropriate it is to do it right now.
I mean, I like the idea because
so,
at this point,
I
I
don't know.
think when I'm seeing the result of these 2 resistances, which is everyone's freaking out, like
Yeah.
Char's like, okay, mission abort. Like, this is over. We're not going to get Tiff out now. This isn't happening. We're going to leave the house. So I think
Yeah.
me bringing into action might, and spending the link like, oh, Char's taking care of it. I don't need to freak out completely.
And
Is that a thing?
if
that
I'm
could make
reading this
sense?
correctly, by the
Oh,
way, sorry,
I
let
see
me
what you mean.
just cut in. Both Caesar and Case just fell to Eclipse.
Yeah, we both just hit Eclipse. Yeah.
Okay, so-
Oh, Caesar did as well. Okay.
So one
Yeah.
of the 2 of
So-
you not doing that would probably be a good thing, also. But...
Yeah, I mean, I like me falling to Eclipse. My prompt makes perfect sense here, so I feel like that's like now.
I don't have any links for Caesar anyway, so
All right, fine, fuck you.
Yeah, I do.
you're not my
but
best
I'm
friend.
outside the house.
Yeah, mine
Those
doesn't
things
make
I
any
do.
sense.
I have a scene outside the house I want to do, but I will let you all roll.
So what is Caesar? What does your Eclipse look like?
Right, so I like gain like a full like stubble turns into like like fashion beard, and like any like lace or like girliness is just gone, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna sneak up the stairs and like be the hero because I'm the one that's like got the darkness in me, and I'm gonna like go and face it, and he's gonna go and be like a sacrificial messiah bullshit man.
Yeah, and I think Char is too distracted by what's happening with the records to notice this at first.
It's like he just had this like romantic experience with the girl, and he's like, I'm gonna be a hero at man time.
Great.
That sounds great.
Oh, I'm
and
gonna compliment you on your lipstick. So much for that.
Why is he like this?
So Kira,
So in that case, oh yeah.
yeah, you're just at 7 stress instead of being in Eclipse.
Yeah, so I spent one on
Here's
case.
Here's the net
It's still
result of all
bad.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because my eclipse had to do with my mask, and I'm not even wearing it right now, so I don't. Good call. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so
that's
I'm
what I
at
was thinking,
7,
that
and
might
then
be-
so do you pop out and just actually say like, "Hey, let's get out of here, Char"?
Well,
Like,
let's. I think Caesar, what are you doing? Let's start with you, and then I'll.
Yeah, so I'm gonna. So I'm sneaking up the stairs. I'm gonna like dash up the stairs to grab the bag.
Right.
So that, like, and like if I have to murder a bunch of like ghost people on the way, then that's unfortunate. Oh, that wouldn't be cool and badass at all.
I don't think ghost people can stop you anyway, really.
I don't know. That's up to Andrew. Andrew. So yeah, I'm just gonna like sneakily like sneak past so that that Tiff doesn't see, and then just head up the stairs and just be like, fucking grab bag, stab something, come back down with bag.
Yeah, I think it's easy to sneak past because like Tiff puts a record on, so there's some like audio to cover. Case manages to like keep it together and not have the like house take over this thing that they've put together of like, here's your collection of records, here are your like memories and experiences, and like let's reflect on this. And to like inject some part of Tiff has made a claim on the house now. She like had put some of her stuff in the living room. You know, in that way of like, this is my house now. And so yeah, like the music starts playing. It's some like, I don't know, it's like a new wave sounding kind of band, so it's kind of more upbeat. You run up the stairs, and the stairs seem like really long compared to how they were before. There's like, it went from being
like 3 at a time.
Yeah, and it went from being like a 2-floor thing to like a 3-floor and then a 4-floor house. Like you're just climbing this huge flight of stairs. And you get up there, taking the stairs at bounds, like you're saying. And of course, the room you were in where you broke the mirror and everything, that was Tiff's room, obviously. And like, we see the doorway to that room down at the end of this little hallway, and there are like, it looks like a subway that's being packed full of people, and one of the figures is actually like pushing more of the other figures into this room, and they're all just like jamming up in it, trying to like fix it. Like there are maybe like 30 of them in this tiny room that they've all, and like one of them is like trying to push the others into it to deal with this problem. And it's
I'm getting
kind
like
of horrifying and absurd.
Awesome. I'm going to cleave my way through the people to get the bag.
Great, you just want to kind of like wedge yourself in there and go.
No. I'm going to cut the people down with my sword.
I'm going to spend a link to help without helping. And I think what this looks like is, Ash, remind me, your promise is like, I will be a better man than Hot or something.
I'll be
and like Hot is a pacifist.
I'm going to be a better dad than Hot's dad was the actual thing.
Okay. I was getting your one with Case confused. Anyway.
I'm going to be a better man.
Regardless, like I think you know that Hot is a pacifist, and this is like you're like, I gotta show it up. I gotta be better at being a man.
Or I think like, it's I'm the only one that can do this.
Yeah, only I can do the violence.
Like, only I can like beat the violent, horrible man thing because I'm the violent, horrible man thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So so you're just gonna like kind of cut your way through.
Yeah.
Is it obvious when someone is in Eclipse?
I mean, I had like
sprouted a bit.
From Char's point of view, Caesar just ran off impulsively when obviously Char was the better person who could do that because Char is in disguise.
Yeah.
But can I tell that Caesar is like unhinged? Do I realize there's a problem about to happen upstairs, or is it just like,
I don't know,
other than Caesar just being Caesar?
I don't think it's strictly like,
it's not like there's been a disturbance in the forest or something.
No.
Okay.
Maybe if he had been transcended when it happened, there would be like more obvious aesthetic shift. But so yeah, you're up there. You're gonna cut through these guys. I'm just like,
well, Caesar's doing that, and that's bad, but
very differently.
too late now.
Yeah.
So this is definitely okay. Well, what are you rolling? It sounds like defy. It sounds like you're rolling defy. I feel like I don't
defy
even need to ask.
or yeah, I think defy.
You're
I'm
being
flow, but it's
violent.
not.
Yeah.
I'm being violent. That's
You're
Nothing about that
expressing
sounded
madness.
flowing.
Yeah, you're just like running headlong into the problem.
well, yeah. It would be flow if I were like flowing with my eclipse like mode, but yeah, it's defy. All right, and I have a bonus dice from what's my position? Is it desperate?
It's definitely desperate. This
Cool.
is
What's my
absolutely
effect?
desperate. Your effect is limited. You are
Okay,
just
cool.
you're just some boy, and this
Now might be a good time to like I've just noticed that like we're like most of the way through the mission and no one has transcended. Just because I can't do it doesn't mean you'll have to feel restricted.
Yes, but also like he doesn't want to.
Yeah, so like
No, that's
transcending is the
fair.
opposite of how.
That's fair. I just wanted to like put it out there.
there's a bunch of
You
stuff
have
in the
that.
fiction that pushes us from
Yeah.
wanting to do that.
Don't worry, I'll
Yeah.
transcend if someone has to transcend. I'm sure Char will.
What is there a devil's bargain on the available? A dark bargain?
I would offer the same bargain I
Yes.
offered before.
Which one was that, Daniel?
The cult, like
Mm.
the large scale virus cult, will like this is proving your mettle. You're definitely ready to convert to the cult. You're gonna like murder people, no problem. You're a manly
You are
man.
on the mailing list.
You could not be any more vulnerable than you are right now to the cult. I feel.
Yeah.
You know, like
So basically, what we're doing is we're deferring. There's some additional consequence that we're deferring for later. Of like, in the mundane world, some cult people will come and try to like recruit, try to
the
like
cult,
press
like-
gang you into the cult.
Yeah.
That's what your next obligation phase is gonna look like, maybe.
Cool.
Mm.
Okay, I'm down with that, and I'll just make a note on the sheet on the play space here that we've got that comeuppance. Cult
Alright.
will press gang Caesar.
it's like, oh, we noticed how warrior like you were. That was really impressive. Kind of, that vibe. Boom.
I wrote pres gang instead of press gang. There we go. Okay, great.
I'm the manliest.
Desperate limited with an extra die from the dark bargain, and
Yeah, like I go in and I'm like I'm like going to like swing my sword dramatically, and what ends up happening is I like get my sword lodged in like in a person, and then I have to like squeeze to grab the
I don't
bag.
think these people are corporeal.
Yeah,
they're
but
kind
like
of like half corporeal, like
Yeah,
it's like
that's the
pushing
point.
through like
Soup.
sand or soup or something. Yeah, there is
Yeah.
resistance. And so yeah, you push
Soup
through,
was
you
the
get to the
wrong
bag, and you get the bag in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But because your effect was limited,
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's where your momentum stops,
Yeah.
and you're like stuck
And
in
like
this
someone
room.
like steps on me, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and there's this press of people in it,
Mm-hmm.
and you've like cut some of them in half, and they've like
Mm-hmm.
parted briefly, and then like reform, but kind of wrong, like they're mismatched. Like someone else's torso is on another guy's legs and stuff. Like there's this weird blob of people parts, like shadowy people parts.
And they're totally bleeding the same like red color as the
Yeah,
pocket
it's like
squares,
leaking
right?
into the room, and the floor has this big red, like crimson stain on it. And they're starting to make like a angry mob sounds, like the ambient noise shifts to being very like aggressive. And the things kind of like darken, the shapes darken and solidify more. And there's this like weird amalgam of people bits.
Okay, I'm going to throw the bag down the stairs and then try and like climb out the window that I came in the first time.
Sounds like
Or
an
I could
excellent.
show up and try to rescue you again, I guess. But
I
Is
have
this
I have a rescue plan
Like,
from
my
outside.
question is this is that a resistance or is it a or is it a
I mean, I also think like we should just remember like that was a 6,
Yeah,
and so there is no consequence.
there's no
and so, like,
consequence. It's just you're in
Yeah,
this
okay.
circumstance.
yeah,
you need to say what you're
yeah,
doing.
Yeah, fair.
That
So
said,
then I
if you
have-
want to act against this blob of people parts,
Yep.
you're gonna have to roll to resist first because you haven't transcended.
you could take the,
Yep.
the bag out the window. I think that would be kind of cool.
Well, no, but like Tiff needs to know. Tiff needs to be like know that she has grabbed her bag.
I mean, okay. on a meta level, we are not rescuing Tiff, so
Well, we're not rescuing her from like the actual house, no, but we're trying to like at least establish a foothold by getting her to recognize that she can leave the house.
right.
Well, no, like what we're trying to do is figure out like what her relationship to the cult is, and I feel like we have done that, right?
Yeah,
like,
I think all I'm saying is at this point,
mission,
I think
quote
there's no
unquote,
more
is-
mission to really achieve other than get out in one piece. But I think
Yeah.
Caesar wanting to stick with the bag is also cool, obviously.
Yeah, the whole thing with Tiff wanting to like get her stuff and go to Case's house was basically me being a jerk and being like, "Yep, this NPC wants a really problematic thing that you're probably going to want to try to give them," and so there we go. But
Yeah, the thing was to make the house her own, I think was
Yeah.
Andrew was baiting us.
It was good.
I have a thing I'd like to do outside, if I'm
you see a little bit of what's going on with Caesar through the like broken window.
Yeah,
But I
I
think
to be like, whoa.
But I think we like cut back to a little like as soon as the door slams in Hart's face, I think the first thing he does, like he just sighs. He just lets out this long, like disappointed, weary, like of course sigh. And just like walks over and just like sits down on the front doorstep. Like on the little
Like
because,
the steps down.
Yeah, just like sits on the steps and kind of like reaches out and like one hand just like idly touches like one of the, I don't know, like columns or like whatever weird Victorian aesthetic features it has.
There's like a little rail up the stairs.
Yeah, he puts a hand on the rail and he just kind of like tilts his head back until he can like see like the edge of the roof above. And just like sighs again really wearily and says, I guess I can't blame you. You know? You just wanna live. It's in the nature of things to turn toxic and spread.
And this is
Entropy.
you talking to the house?
Am I right? Yeah, I'm just like talking to the house. Right? Like entropy, am I right? And like there's a beat of like looking up at the house as though he half expects the house is gonna like respond.
Why yes, it is like that. No. What do you hope to accomplish by talking to the house?
I am trying to like because like we have established that like the house both one has a connection to like this isn't just Tiff's dream reflection of the real house, like it has some connection to like the outside.
It's a symbolic thing that yeah,
and also like has ties to like the real house and the real cult and all that nonsense. It's like, you know, we know that is true.
Mm-hmm.
And also we know that like it has like within this dream it has some degree of sentience, right? And like awareness.
Yeah, it
and
has agency.
I am like forgiving it. And like this is part of the overall goal of like make it a less toxic, like make this dream reflection of it a less toxic space for Tiff. Because it's not the dream house's fault that the real house is this shitty toxic thing. Right? Like that's not its fault. It's not responsible for that. It is just a reflection of another thing, and like it couldn't help the way it was made. And Hart is just like telling it that it's just saying like, look, like maybe you're like, you know, like kind of shitty and like controlling and toxic, but like you are the way you are, and like it's like getting angry at a virus for like infecting people. Like it doesn't make sense to be angry about it because that's just what viruses do.
I think if you were a cool superhero person who could use magic powers, maybe that would do something to the house. But as it stands,
if it doesn't, like that is totally reasonable.
I think it's fine if Hart is just talking to the house and nothing is happening.
And like
It's just interesting.
There's
like,
there's this
maybe-
moment in the like shot where there's a bit of anticipation, like, oh, is
Yeah,
it
we
going to do
expect,
something? And then it's
yeah.
like, oh no, it doesn't do
Yeah.
anything.
Or I suppose, yeah, and like I suppose my other question would be: is this like empathize? Is the other question like is this potentially
you cannot empathize with anything that isn't a person because you don't have the move for that.
No, that's fair. That is fair. All right. In that case, what I am going to do is I'm going to spend 2 of my links with Caesar to recover some of my stress because this house reminds me of Caesar.
This house is shitty and toxic, like you.
Well,
Wow.
no, Hart is thinking back to that downtime action with Caesar and like sharing the bucket of chips and the way that like Caesar just like barged into his house without asking and like was really kind of pushy about it and was like unable to directly confront his feelings and like right like
Yeah.
there's a parallel there, right? In
There
the
is
like
definitely a parallel
it's
there.
not Caesar's fault that toxic masculinity is toxic and shitty. And so, like, yeah, sitting here, Hart reflects
your
on
little
those.
moment.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I reduce my stress. That's it. That's my thing.
Okay. Well, I'm curious to
Someday,
see if
someday I'll be a cool superhero.
I'm curious to see if your reverie is interrupted by Caesar falling out the window. So,
I mean, I hope so. That would be good.
so Ash, do you want to? Is that what you want to do? Just like grab the bag and tumble out the window?
Yes, I'm going to attempt to 3-point superhero land.
That's delightful.
Good luck.
What's this? Is it Defy again?
I mean, you're trying
That
to move
sounds
with
like
grace. You have described yourself as trying to move with grace, so it could be full.
Dang it. Well, okay, I would prefer it to be Defy.
Do you want to just like? I mean, you can roll defy, and that's fine. And you just dive out the window. It's going to be kind of messy.
Yeah, well, okay, he thinks he's going to do the 3-point land, but it's not going to work.
But we all know he's not. Okay, yeah. Just
Alright.
figuring I would ask the clarifying
Alright.
questions.
Desperate, limited.
Yeah, we get a shot of him like right at the edge of the window, and he like closes his eyes, and we can see him like visualizing the perfect leap he's gonna make, and then he just jumps like through the wall.
Yeah. Here's something I will say about this bag of stuff. Also, while we're looking at it, is that the bag of stuff is like a bunch of symbolic objects that are significant and could be, if y'all just took them, a trove of like information. This could be like a little resource that you could make use of.
Yeah, we talked about possessions being a big deal. That's why I suggested jumping out the window with it.
Alright,
Yeah.
I'm jumping out the window with the bag then. Yeah.
Because, yeah,
cool.
if y'all just want to ditch and want to, like, know some stuff, like, this could be a good MacGuffin to be like, cool, we did the thing.
Well, or a decision on whether to leave it behind or not.
And, yeah, exactly. That there would be some tension there. So, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're, rolling Defy, Desperate Limited, again, this will get you the second leg of this little two-part thing.
I'm going to push myself for bonus dice.
Great.
How does stress work when you're in Eclipse?
So, once you're in
You move
Eclipse,
towards being dead.
yeah, your stress counts down, and if it gets to 0, your character is no longer able to be a magical girl, whatever that might mean.
Okay.
Means they become part of the cult.
Alright, there I am with a 4.
Okay, what's your harm situation like, Caesar?
I've currently just got a 2 harm.
Okay, well, how would you be interested in...
Hang on a minute. Is 2 minus 1 die?
It is minus 1 die.
Yes. Cool.
But I don't think
It's not
his
relevant harm, I'm just, like,
dysphoria
trying to
is
remember.
relevant here.
Yeah, I don't think it's...
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what the fuck it does.
Yeah.
Um,
So, yeah, I've just got dysphoria at -2. At 2.
yeah, I think you can take some level 4 harm. Just
Cool.
a bad landing.
I
Yeah,
catch him.
like fall on my neck, right? Like I just like fall, like
I
head down
resist. I catch him.
So yeah, you have the bag, you go to jump out the window, there's like a scuffle with this thing that is materializing in the upper room where it like grabs you have to like kick it, break free.
Which gives me long enough to realize something is happening and like get in position. Yeah.
You fall out the window backwards, having kicked the thing, it releases you,
Yeah, like head.
you
Oh.
swing out of it, you tip over and then just like tumble out the window down the little
We've
bit of
established that
roof
there's a-
next to
I was gonna
it.
say, yeah, maybe there's a little bit of roof.
Yeah, exactly, to roll
We've
down.
There's a rail there that I can like fully like just go on.
Yeah, it's got the little like wrought iron edging around the roof. You catch that and then like half fall off of it. It catches you briefly and then gives way and you drop. It's like the most hitting every branch on the way down fall that you could have.
Cool. So yeah, I die.
Cool. So I'm gonna resist that.
Oh, okay.
Which it sounds like that's tsundere because this is violence.
This is definitely violence. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. I'm gonna resist it. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And I'm gonna push myself to give me bonus dice. I can do that, right? Is valid
On a
on a resistance roll?
is it worth doing? Is my question.
I mean,
That seems like very
good
mechanically
point.
weird.
Good point.
I don't
good
think it's
point.
worth taking extra stress to chance taking less stress.
Ooh.
Well, you take 5.
Yep. I go up to 9.
Great.
However, let me read from the Book of Andrew. When only you can save one of your friends from fatal harm and you do it, which I just did, you can lose this move and gain Hero's Destiny.
Great.
And so I'm going to sit with it for a moment and think about whether I want to do that or not. But that is an option I have.
Okay. Ash, you can downgrade that harm to level 3 harm. We'll call it a bad fall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Meanwhile, inside.
I land in Heart's arms, and I'm like, oh, I was totally expecting that to be Char that caught me. Weird. Thanks.
But yeah, you're like all
I just
messed
like,
up.
yeah, I like pat you on the back, and I'm like, all right, buddy, and just like plop you back like on your feet.
Oh,
It's
actually,
like really contending, right? Like I'm like, oh, I didn't expect the kid to like.
Yeah.
to say
Also,
that.
it is me who should take the harm.
yeah.
isn't
Let
it?
me revise. Yeah, both of you
Yeah.
can take level 2 harm.
Yep, that's
instead.
fair.
Color it appropriately. You had someone fall on you. Ash, you
Yeah.
had a bad fall. Meanwhile, inside, Char and Case. And I think we probably need to wrap up shortly here because I feel like we maybe even went over time. And I apologize, I lost track. I mean, we can even cut
That's
here.
okay.
Well, I think it's at this point, assuming I'm not going to use that the house is gonna. Oh, sorry.
I hit 9 stress. I need to
Yeah,
roll.
you'll need
see
to
if I-
roll for Eclipse. Go ahead and roll that. I'm just going to talk to...
Yep, totally. Yep.
Yeah, Kira, do you feel like... Because we've gone over time, and I know it's the latest for you. How are you feeling on time? I'm sorry, I didn't check in earlier.
I mean,
I got a 1.
no, that's okay.
Okay.
I could go a little bit longer. Like,
Okay,
I
we can do a little
go
more?
Another
We've
hour.
got
or
Luke and
45.
I have got another game starting in like 25 minutes.
Yeah, so let's try to wrap up within the
Okay.
next 10 minutes here. Sorry,
I mean-
lost
Also,
track.
I am in it.
I feel like we can wrap up in that amount of time and we can finish this
Yeah.
game too.
Because we're just doing the like ditch out of the dream sequence here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, inside
Is the house freaking out now because of all this upstairs? Maybe because
there's definitely some sound from upstairs. Yeah, of like
the problem is if I don't know that Caesar has left the building, there's no way Char leaves the building. So
yeah, there's like loud thumping,
Yeah.
a crash,
think, like-
and then a sound outside.
okay.
I think you hear your name as well, right? Like, man, I thought it was going to be
Okay.
Char that caught me.
Because yeah, they're like just outside the room that you're in. So I think it's totally reasonable that you and like you can
Okay.
see out the window. You see, you see Caesar just into the ground. You know, barely getting caught in
Okay.
time.
I think there's this simultaneous look of like alarm and like weary caretakerness on Char's face as this occurs. Like, who could have predicted that would have happened? But also, it seems like a good time to ditch. Yeah. So I think Char like signals to Case like, let's get out of here.
Okay. Case looks at Tiff. What is Tiff doing?
I think Tiff is like lost in listening to the music, and has
Cool.
like sat down on like a chair. There's like some really like threadbare armchair that she's like sat in, and she's just listening to this music playing.
Okay, so in that case, maybe Char steps out from behind the couch and is like, walks over to Case and is like, it's time to go.
Yeah. Hey, just one sec. In Case takes the concert T-shirt out of their back pocket and hands it to Tiff and is like, "Hey, you lost this. Don't lose it again."
And she's like, "Oh, you found it," and like stands up and gives you a hug, and is like very appreciative. She's like still holding onto the shirt, and it has all these like patterns from it being in your possession for so long. So the shirt is this like beautiful like multicolored patterned thing. And she like holds it up again and looks at it and like smiles, and like pulls it on over what she was wearing, because she just had like a tank top on or something. So she pulls this T-shirt on over it and sits back down like listening to the music. But yeah, is in that weird like dream state of like not really noticing you.
Cool. I feel like that's a good place to leave it, to be honest. So we could probably go.
Yeah, and y'all are able to leave the house. It was busy messing with other stuff.
It still hasn't noticed that I'm me, so maybe I can just open the door.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're still kind of one of its little agents as far as it's concerned. So yeah, great. So like you step outside, you find your very injured buddies hanging out in the yard. And we just,
one of whom is still Manly Man.
Yeah, and we can just like montage out of here. I feel like I don't think like there's anything that's
unless someone wants to have a scene about whether we're going to take this bag with us or not.
Right. So there is the bag which has like strewn itself into the yard.
Yeah, because I was thinking that I had planned to give it to Tiff, but I accidentally just take it with me.
Well, yeah, because like in a panic, holding the bag, you're like, oh, there's a monster thing, and you just like fall out the window.
Yeah.
And so its contents have been strewn across the yard, and it's like, it's kind of a grab bag of all the stuff that we've described so far, of like posters and like music related stuff. There are a couple of items of clothing. There's some like cutesy like teddy bear type thing. There are like a bunch of knickknacks of Tiff's, emblematic of different stages of her life and that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's like a copy of the house schedule.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's just this big array of
chores roster
of objects.
So
and,
our record, Char thinks we shouldn't take all this stuff because it's just too much to take from one person's dream. But if there's something like a specific cult-related thing to take, that could be cool.
Yeah, I think there's a like manila folder with a bunch of papers in it. One of them has like a little crimson letterhead, or maybe the folder has like a crimson logo on it. And yeah, it's like the chore schedule for the house, the weird like contract that they all sign together when people move in. It's like a bunch of
showing how much everyone paid for like the bond and things.
Yeah, and a bunch of like weird, because like it's all couched in like paperwork and formalities. And there's like a Polaroid of her in her like cult approved fashion, essentially, in there as well. So there's like that folder is probably the most obviously culty thing, which if y'all want to run away with, I am fine with.
Yeah.
And you leave the other stuff kind of strewn in the yard.
No, I think Char makes a point of picking it up and putting it in the bag and putting the bag like on the porch.
Yeah, just like leaning by the door. Cool.
Yes.
Very conscientious dream invader. It's refreshing to see.
Char understands the consequences being the oracle of the dream.
Yeah, I'm like, Char's right. We should leave this stuff, and drops the bag and like tosses it onto the lawn and like gets up the bale.
Yeah, I think Char even says as she's picking up, like if we took this many things, there might not be, like this is too many things to take.
Yeah,
because Char is apparently an authority on dream stuff, or thinks of herself.
Yeah, it would be a big problem. We shouldn't do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Great. And so y'all sorry.
It gives Caesar like an odd look because Caesar's acting oddly.
And we'll get the big reveal of what it's like when Heart is in Eclipse next time, I think. But y'all,
I'm down.
find your way like out the yard into some alley, and as you turn into the alley, it becomes that backstage space that y'all move through, and you're able to like exit.
Yeah, there's like a metal door we go through, or
like a service drawer or a sewer grate, or that kind of thing. And you're able to get back out. Great. So that's our first mission in the bag.
I think we did great. Good job,
Good
team.
job, everybody.
By the way, are we supposed to be marking XP when we roll desperate things?
Yeah, but we do have a record in Roll20 conveniently.
Oh, good, because I did not do any of that.
But yeah, you can scroll back and
I always forget
grab
that, yes.
from the log.
There's a lot of that because we didn't transcend at all.
Yeah, it was interesting to see actually.
It's true.
So let's talk XP.
I have taken Hero's Destiny.
Great.
This is me updating the chat and also the rest of you. I am now a magical girl.
So you're primed for that, but we haven't actually seen it happen yet. It's not going to be triggered by this action.
Yeah, I think the only thing that is different about Heart that we see is that like that kind of like smallness in the dream that we were noticing earlier like is no longer a thing. Like they are back to be.
Can I suggest maybe like we don't notice, but the camera notices basically?
Yeah.
He's like.
Do you want to give us a teaser of what is your look?
Yeah.
What's the little trinket you have on you now or thing?
Yeah, what we realize is that like the reason that he's bigger now, is that like as he's walking like from behind, we can see like showers of like dirt and like soil like falling away from like his shoulders and like the back of his jacket and like falling out of like the hems of his like trousers. He's just like leaving this like trail of like earth.
I like too that the cover story could be like, oh, well, you kind of fell in the yard when you caught.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Like it's like a bit ambiguous.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, let's move on to XP.
Sounds good.
Luke, we can start with you.
It's me.
Did you?
Let me scroll up and find myself. Yes, Andrew, ask me the questions.
Did you address a challenge with compassion or honesty?
Yeah, I think I was very compassioned.
You were kind of like uncomfortably honest with some people too.
Yeah, right. Like I was kind. I wasn't nice, right?
Yeah.
Like, Tiff and Case both needed to hear what they needed to hear, even if it wasn't comfortable. So I think I'm gonna take 2 for that. I think I was both honest and compassionate.
2 for that.
Variously. Remind me, Andrew. It's 6 ticks over a playbook category.
So
like an ability dot category.
6 is for the abilities, and then 8 for playbook XP.
Cool.
And we just need to be going through this pretty quick, Luke. So
no, totally,
let's just do like, did you do this? And you can just be like, yes, this much, and I will just nod.
Cool.
Express your beliefs, drives, role, or background.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think like I was a lot about being a disillusioned cynic and a lot about being a worry caretaker.
Issues from your promises or obligation. I don't think anyone's obligation came up in this, especially, but promises definitely.
I don't think so.
Could have. Because your promises are not doing any harm, and and then eclipse or contents of your heart.
I think I displayed the contents of my heart a bunch.
Yeah, we got to see you talk to a house.
Yeah, exactly. I had a lot of feelings. I talked to a house. I like connected with some petals.
Yeah, totally.
I empathized with a bunch of shit. So I'm gonna. Then that takes me up to 6 XP. So I am taking a dot in Defy.
Cool.
That's me done.
All right, Daniel, because you're the next playbook that I got to in my list here.
Okay.
Did you address a challenge with kindness or self-sacrifice?
I don't think so. Maybe self-sacrifice.
I think there was a little bit of you putting yourself out there.
I think like yourself as a cult member and going into the house was maybe
that was definitely you taking something on that was really uncomfortable for your character.
And also the whole thing with taking on the
rebel. Actually, yeah, too, because you went and saved Caesar from his shattering.
Oh yeah, I assume that would be part of my. Okay, sure, that's okay.
But then we've got beliefs, drives, role, or background. That's the next category.
I think my background as a cult
Yes, that
person
featured
was
prominently.
definitely. I didn't do my role as much. I think in part because Caesar was
He was like jumping in front of you.
on the actiony bits, but that's cool. I like that dynamic. So I just take one for that. I think because
Yep.
the cult stuff.
Struggled with issues from your promises or obligation.
I don't think my promises came up because if I have a promise to Hart about not letting Hart become like me, but if I had that to Caesar, it would have made sense. But
Right.
And my other one is about cases identity, so that didn't come up. So nope.
Yeah, because Case did a really good job of keeping that secret. And then, did you embody your eclipse or display the contents of your heart?
I definitely did not embody my eclipse. No, I don't think I did those.
I would lobby for one for you because you.
I guess because of me.
We saw you
my
being
crush on
jealous.
Caesar.
Yeah, as well.
Okay.
Like, I feel like somewhere in there's definitely 1 XP worth.
I mean, I would lobby for 2 on the strength of we now have a clock that is all about your heart and your feelings about the cult.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I felt like that was my character
explicitly,
didn't take action, but we definitely developed that. So I mean, that's
Yeah, like that is now a mechanically visible thing.
I'm fine to be generous here.
okay.
Ash,
Hi.
did Caesar address a challenge with individual action or aggression?
I feel like I get 2 there.
Definitely 2 there.
Yep.
Beliefs, drives, role, or background.
Yes. Let me bring up.
I think definitely your character's drives, like all of his gender stuff, kind of fits in that category.
Yeah. I think that's probably. So I think that's 1.
Sure. And then struggled with issues from your promises or obligation. Your promise to Case, definitely, about being the better man.
Yeah.
Factored in.
Mm-hmm. And
then embodied your eclipse or displayed the contents of your heart.
I think I did that.
Definitely 2 there,
Yeah.
I think. Yep. All right.
Cool. Excellent. Right.
I
I'm
have
giving
just
an extra point in Defy.
I have just realized that I did do the obligation thing and brought that back up. Because like way back at the beginning when we were in the warehouse, I like was sticking really close to Case explicitly because of
right,
like the detail of my obligation and how our relationship works in that space.
Cool. Well,
Add one.
Yeah, that's fine. And for Case, did you address a challenge with mystery or ostentatious action?
I don't know. I guess there was a little mystery because I was kind of leading Tiff on a lot.
Yeah, you were being very duplicitous the whole time, basically. Like always having a secret agenda for your behavior.
Does that count?
I think that definitely counts. Like you lied to people a bunch.
Yeah.
Did you express
Lies
your
and mysterious
beliefs, drives, role, or background?
Yeah, I guess the whole thing was basically a tension between best friend or forbidden lover, so I feel like yes.
Yeah, totally. I would say 2 there. And then issues from your promises or obligation.
I didn't really talk to Char or Caesar very much, so no.
Yeah, like it was mostly like your and Tiff's relationship taking up a lot of space this episode. Did you embody your eclipse or display the contents of your heart? I feel like very yes, 2 XP here. It was all about sad / hopeful relationship vibes. It was very
And so
good.
this XP, we just distribute it wherever we want. Is that how this works?
Yeah, so you can put it in your playbook, in which case you need 8 to get another core ability or transcendent ability, or you can assign it to any of your resistances to bump up the dots in that category.
Right. Okay.
And for those, it's 6 XP to level those up. Okay, and lastly, for the crew XP, which I will bring us over to the crew sheet real quick. Did we successfully carry out a mission from the crew's list? Why, yes, I think we did. So I'll just mark this on the sheet here. So 1 for that. Did we delve into the labyrinth of the conspiracy and give solace to dreamers?
I think we, yeah,
I think we
I
did
think yes.
2 worth.
both of those.
Yeah.
Yep. Explore the inner world of the suspects and face their demons.
I think we explored their inner world. I don't know if we really faced Tiff's demons.
Yeah, we kind of
Yeah.
talked around a lot of that stuff. And then express the essential nature, origin, or destiny of the crew. I feel like we learned so much about y'all generally, because this is our
Yeah,
first
because it was the
mission.
first time we got into a dream. I guess that's definitely.
Yeah, so 6 out of 8. Very
It's not
good.
clear that we have a clear idea about our destiny yet, but
Definitely like the other accounts, I think.
Yeah.
Good.
also close.
Okay, so thank you all for playing with me.
This was super fun. I really liked this episode.
I felt like I hit my stride a little bit more. I'm always a little bumpy with this one because I've never played in it before, but I think I'm starting to get a sense of like what shape the kind of cycle of play needs to.
Yeah, we were chatting a little bit about this actually in the downtime. How because we didn't really know what this mission looks like, it was hard to start in the middle of the mission because we didn't.
Yeah, because I didn't
like.
Yeah.
I think now that we've seen a version of it, it'll be easier to start in the middle of future ones. So
yeah, and I can actually
I think it was
write
really
a section about what these are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like it's so hard to.
Yeah, like
make
a
this up
lot
without
of this
playing.
was just like feeling out the shape of like a thing that we know exists but don't know what it looks like yet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was really cool, and thank you all for being an excellent crew of people to do that with. It was very, very
Yay,
helpful.
you too.
Does anyone have anything they want to shout out?
One very last bookkeeping thing. I am about to update the conspiracy map. Team votes. Is Tiff a known conspirator or is Tiff a victim?
Victim.
Yeah.
Where are we going to classify her?
Yeah, I think victim.
All right, cool. I have added it to the map.
I think I am going to revise the use of the word victim in the game.
I agree.
Because it feels, now that we're using it, I'm like, this feels gross. This really, like, just, I'm not comfortable with it.
A captive of the, like, conspiracy, maybe? Or, like...
Or under the sway, or...
Yeah, like...
brainwashed.
It's someone who is, like, suffering because of it, but I don't, like, the language of victim is just really not cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, that's a note for me to rework.
Yeah, sounds good.
Kira, yeah, your comment from last time really got me thinking of that too, where you were like, I just don't feel good about that word, and I was like, yeah, no, Kira's super right. This is bad.
All right, I'm gonna put it in inverted commas.
Yeah, and I'll figure out some different language for that before the next time we play. But yeah, anyone got any plugs, shills, etc.?
I mean, in 10 minutes over on my channel, there we'll be playing our cyberpunk fantasy game in which we live and breathe. Me and Luke are going to be there.
Sounds awesome.
We're gonna pick up from where Luke was previously in the ethereal plane, fighting a giant demonic starfish. So
I'm gonna fuck it up.
I'm fully aware. So that's over my channel ACEGIAK. So like hit that up.
If you like games like this, like actual play products like this that are all about feelings and intimacy and character relationships and like nuanced, sympathetic, respectful portrayals of NPCs, you should check out the Monster Hearts actual play podcast that Andrew and I are on together. You can find us on Twitter at feelingsfirst_.
Cool.
Great.
Well, there's some things to follow this up with, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.